We are on. Welcome back to the Big Sports Talk podcast. Talking Cowboys football today. What's up, Gil? How you doing today?
Hey man, it's another great day to talk football, man. I'm excited, man. This is great pressure that just dropped out. I'm ready to get to it.
Yeah, let's get right into it, Gil. Christian, the Dallas Cowboys introduced their new defensive coordinator yesterday. I hope y'all got a chance to see that, Cowboy Nation. Christian Parker, new defensive coordinator. And man, it was a pretty good vibe, I would say, Gil. What are your thoughts on the initial presser?
Right. So, number one, man, I thought Shadi and Jerry and the owners, et cetera, did a great job with the interview process. I heard that they interviewed 40 different guys for the role. They went down, levels of talking schemes, just what the actual identity that they're trying to build with the team. So I loved it, man. I learned a lot about Christian, his beginnings, where he came from, like the little bit of the tutelage and stuff like that, and his readiness and his intelligence of knowledge of the game of football. It shows, man. He seems ready
Yeah.
to make a statement. So he was poised. Probably was a little bit nervous, but that makes sense. Being your first big time head coaching, excuse me, coordinator job. But he seems ready and eager to make an impact, and he seems like he has a great idea for what he wants to do. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he
Yeah,
has
man.
in
I
store.
didn't know he talked about being a political science major and tying his degree in political science into the philosophy of coaching and stuff like that. I was like really impressed by this young brother, man. He definitely is an intellectual type. That's the vibe he gives me. He gives me an intellectual type, X's and O's type guy.
Mhm.
And man, it was just good seeing the vibe with him and Shotty looked like he was a kid in the candy store, man. Then when they talked about the process of wanting him, he Shotty had him on his list like for the last 2 years. I guess they've been passing Christian's name around, and Shotty, he was like, "Man, I got my guy. This is my guy. This is what I wanted." And it was just a good feel. Now, as far as his philosophy, Gil, did you gather anything from his philosophy as far as how is he going to address the defense and the issues with the defense?
Yeah. So, I'm glad we talk about an intellectual thinker, but he's a teacher first, and that was what shined in the presser for me. Is I'm going to put guys back to work at what they're best at doing. Right. Like
Hmm.
I'm going to make the game simple for those intangibles, and I'm going to figure out what it is they're seeing and how they're reacting and how I can best utilize that. And I was like, bro, that's that's football right there. That's like,
Yep.
okay, how it's not how can I convert and change this guy into how many different dynamic ways can I get him involved? It's like, hold on, time out. What is his natural instincts and the things that he's built over the course of his career that he's really good at? And how can I get the most out of that? And then I'll find other guys to fill in for the other areas. And I build a complete defense where everybody is accountable, competitive, and focused on awareness of what's going on at any point in time in the game. Which I was like, man, listen, if we
I
had just
love that,
that
man.
alone last year, I don't think we would have been as bad in the toilets of defensive rankings as we were.
Yeah, yeah, Gil, because like that was the whole thing last year with Eberflus, the players not understanding the scheme, and it was like it seemed like Eberflus just wanted to force this scheme on these players, and they just wouldn't responding right. And what I loved about like you said with CP, he was saying that you got to look at the current roster, and he has an understanding that certain players learn certain ways, some players learn other ways, and it's all about getting an understanding on getting them to respond that works within the scheme that they're trying to implement.
Right.
It's not one player all the way across the board getting it. You just got to get the best out of a player the best way you can. And
Mhm.
that man, that speaks volumes to me of what his direction is. I'm not trying to overreact,
No, agreed.
but
Agreed.
he has some
Agreed.
good traits, Gil.
Yeah, I mean, right now is now isn't necessarily the excitement was that he was hired and his pedigree of what he's coming from. But of course, now that he's here, it's kind of like, okay, start all over. You got to do it again. You're at the helm of it, and you got to take responsibility for all parts that's involved. So, I mean, I like what he was saying, where naturally by instinct he's liable to go more focused on the DBs, but he's like, I have trust in the staff that we put in the building to be great teachers, and then as we focus on the different things that we're trying to achieve. So it's like, man, hey, I give him a plus for for his first speaking engagement as a Cowboy coach, because he checked all my boxes.
Yeah, man. So like I really like the question that Jane Slater, she asked something about the identity, alluded to the identity of the defense last year.
Mhm.
And we all know that they didn't have a real identity last year. And I thought that he answered that very well. He's like, hey, we got to see what we got, what we working with, and we got to establish as we go, the course of the season, that identity, kind of evolves during the course of the season. I just thought that was a good point that James Slater made about not having that identity on defense last year.
Right. Yeah, I mean, great question, but that's a overtime situation, right? It's
Yeah.
like we were saying the same thing in regards to the offense last year before Shoddy even took his first play off his call sheet, right? He's like, what kind of coach, or what, OC with Clayton, what do we really have and expect from this guy? And it turned out to be an incredible year statistical wise for the Dallas Cowboys. So I mean, yeah, man, Christian comes in with the proven track record for multiple cornerbacks. He got a defensive player of the year corner under his resume. So I trust that he won't have an issue with teaching and adjusting for what players are capable of. But I was kind of hoping that I was going to get an inkling of, like, okay, this is who we specifically want to look for. What when we're getting ready to get into it, but the type of defense that they're going to be running is like, okay, who do we expect to hear first on draft day? So
Right. Yeah, and I don't, they don't really want to tilt their hand this early, considering you got about a little bit of a month out
yeah,
from the draft, a month and a half, I get, or 2 months
yeah,
out
yeah.
from the draft.
We got a little time. You got to get through free
Yes.
agency first.
So they didn't really want to tilt their hand, but I kind of gathered that he talked about 3-4 base and then running multiple looks, 4-2-5.
Hmm.
Uh, and he also alluded to the importance of the nickel corner in this scheme. He was saying that how the nickel is like the MVP of the team because you have to be able to be in the slot, check the slot receiver.
Hmm.
He likes a nickel that can tackle, that's physical, and he's just like a Swiss Army knife. That's what I gathered from him talking about the importance of the nickel. I mean, what do you think?
No, I mean, if anyone should be excited about him saying that, it should be Deron Bland. That's where he did a lot of his great work in the nickel packages when Trayvon was one. So I'm looking at it like, okay, well, um, yeah, it's still too early, but I mean, I love what he said. I definitely love what he said. But these corners, or in Shovel and Deron, should be like, they should be leaping for joy when you got a guy that can get in there and he can really break these things down for you, of what type of spacing, what kind of things to look for and be aware of and take care of. So yeah, they should
Yeah.
be leaping for joy, for real, for real. You got X's and O's guys that can get you paid in some cases. Not for Duran, but Shovel, like, hey man, we trying to turn you into a lockdown corner, especially since he already had tape and we had him on the books while he was in Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was interesting that he mentioned that Rebel was on their radar
Mhm.
during the draft, man. And I thought it was interesting also, Gil, that how he gave kudos to the offense with Dak because realistically, Dak balled out against them. Dak ain't really had a lot of problems like people think. Oh, Dak this, that, and the third. Dak, hey,
It's
Dak
it's
done had some games against the Eagles, man. And
Really,
I
honestly, both games we should have been W's. The last
yeah.
season, this season, it's a matter of simple passes dropped, or just situations that went in Eagles' favor. It should have been splits, but the greatest compliment I got was I think I was the college bowl game, and they were talking about the scouts were talking about as they're looking at players like how difficult it was trying to defend CD and Pickens, and how surgical Dak was this season. It's like, hold on, we're not here talking offense, we're talking defensive. We're trying to look at the defensive players, and it's like, no, the offense is so dangerous. It's causing us complications to try to figure out how to stop that and how to compete with it. So I mean, I look forward to at least seeing those two together for another season. We'll get into that a little later in this show, but yeah, seeing how really it's an interesting dynamic to see the chess match that CP and Shadi are going to have in practices. Like, they're going to be two people dedicated towards, oh, I'm scoring. And he's like, no, I'm looking to shut down everything that Dak from a first hand basis with this group, so that when we go into the season, there's nobody's doing nothing to us. So I want to see, man. I want to see how things go.
One thing that that stood out to me, and a lot of people ain't really pick up on it during the presser, is how shoddy. He talked a little bit about his relationship with the Joneses now. And it seemed like his relation. It seemed like the Joneses trust Shoddy.
Yeah.
He got they got a lot of trust with Shoddy. And what really stands out to me, him being in this presser, is just him introducing Christian Parker by himself. Normally you see Steven and Jerry, they at the press conference, but not this press conference, man. You didn't see them. They've been kind of in the background lately. You haven't really been seeing all the Hollywood stuff that goes along with this team traditionally. And I feel really good about it, Gil, because it's like they taking the reins off of Shoddy, and then, like, you know what? We're gonna we're gonna go ahead and let you do your thing. You know, we're gonna let you we're gonna this wasn't like this one it wasn't like this with Mike McCarthy. It just feels like a different feel. It's like, okay, go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah. So with Mike McCarthy, of course, even though realistically Mike McCarthy did an incredible job while he was here in Dallas, all things
Mhm.
considered. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen this level of like trust since funny enough, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, it's just
He seems to have built a real rapport with Shotty, and he trusts him. But I was gonna say it's nothing like Jones forcing him to take Eberflus and it being a complete failure to get you to say, you know what, maybe maybe I should, because
hey, man, this
we
ain't
spoke about it, man. They didn't go out
yeah,
and do interviews last year for this coordinator. They just said, Jerry looked at him, hey man, you want the job? It's yours. Shotty like,
yeah.
okay, you sure? Like, all right,
You
well,
sure?
and I'm glad he did that, because now we're sitting in a situation of like, you know what, maybe I trust you now because of what you've done this past season, and me trying to fix everything, because Jared, the front office was making big moves last season, and it's something we
Yeah.
haven't seen as aggressive in a lot of years. But they were
Mhm.
making big moves to try to to improve that defense, like, in real time. And I think, they did a good job, but now that they got a coordinator, I think they're really going to take some time to say, you know what, let y'all cook it up. Like, I'll be involved from behind the scenes, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Because I know Jerry, man. I don't think he was at the presser last year for Eberflus either. But the closer we get to the season, we'll see how that takes up. How long? Jerry loved the camera.
Mhm.
He loved the camera, so I don't expect him to not be away for too long. But yeah, I mean, it is a good
Just a
feel. They
different
said they
feel.
interviewed 40 candidates, and Jerry was
40.
in there for each one of those. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
listen, you got to have some money to say, I'm gonna be this detailed with each one of these guys to come in here, and I'm gonna go over, plays. I'm gonna go over each level, and I'm gonna go over tactics and different things like that. And I said, man, okay, all right, Jerry. I mean, We know that. We know Jerry played football. One of the few owners that have actually played football. Won a college championship, and
Mhm.
actually cares about the game. So, which people really don't give him credit for. They look at him as just some big money guy. But
Yeah,
I'm
he
like, man,
know.
this guy, he does know football. So,
Franchise tag.
oh, this my. I've been waiting. Come on with it. Come
Franchise
on with it.
George Pickens.
Yeah.
They opened up the franchise tag, and
Yeah.
they opened up that window,
17 for
and
them.
we all know George Pickens is up for his contract.
Hmm.
And we've been hearing a lot of, ranges around 30 million or so. 30 million.
Yeah, I look at him
30
as
million is very, very generous. Not saying that he's not deserving of 30 million.
30 million is lowballing, big bro.
Yeah, 30 million is low. 30 million is low ball based off of the performance and the potentials. Yeah.
Also, the
Uh,
current top 10 receiver list, we can go
yeah,
top 8, and I believe I made mention of that. Number 7 is Tyreek Hill, who,
yeah. But
Tyreek
before we
Hill is now a free agent, but
yeah,
he's at 27 million per year. Okay.
but before we go there,
Yeah,
do they get this deal done
absolutely.
before the
Uh,
tag, before
uh,
the deadline?
well, so I was critical. I was talking to another friend of mine, and I was like, "This is going to tell me how serious the Cowboys are moving forward with Pickens. Is how quickly they're able to walk to the table and get this either tag or the deal done." But mathematically,
I'm
the
talking about the
franchise.
deal. Do they get the deal done before the
Oh, you're talking
deadline?
about like a long
The
term deal
actual,
with
not
Pickens?
the long-term deal. Yeah.
No, no, no.
You don't think so?
So I think that this is the same situation as Saquon Barkley was in with New York, where he spent so much of his time injured and hurt and not playing an entire season. And then when he is healthy, he plays, is coming up on contract year. I think the year before, he carries the Giants to the postseason, gets a postseason win, I believe. I
Mhm.
double check. Right. And then when we come to free agency, or, you come to your contract is up, and he's like, I kind of want this, that, and the third. I want to remain a Giant. And the Giants, of course, they completely fumble the bag. They just let him walk off let him just walk
Oh
out the
my,
door, across the
the
street.
worst.
Right. Which that's the Giants. Now, for Dallas, right? Career numbers for Pickens in terms of, I believe, like touchdowns and yardage, if I'm not mistaken. And, with all due respect, 20, I think he's 24, 25, got all the talent in the world. Couple of question marks in terms of showing up in a few games, but is that worth putting, let's say, let me just give an actual number, $33 million a year. Okay.
Mhm.
Cause I put him in the DK Metcalf CD Lamb window, which tells me like, okay, that's at least $33 million a year for the next 5 years.
Mhm.
And I don't think we've seen enough of him. Like, you had your best year here because you got a number one beside you. Now, mind you, CD was out for a significant number of games, but you can't just replace what him and Dak have done together on that field. And to say that he'll be that good again in, I don't know, a Titans uniform, or whoever has the cap space to get him, is that's a tough call.
Yeah, and
And
that's the thing, uh, that's definitely a big piece as far as Dak Prescott. Before Dak Prescott, uh,
mhm,
this probably wouldn't be a conversation. We wouldn't be having this conversation about 30 million right now.
correct,
So
correct.
that definitely has to come into play when they negotiate, because Dak brought the best out of GP, and GP brought the best out of Dak. And I think wholeheartedly, George Pickens wants to stay here as a Cowboy, and he wants to get the deal done.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I said, if I'm Pickens, right? I'm aware that there's a special situation going on here, and the defensive needs are louder at the moment than the offense. And like I said, I would love that to keep him here, but there are some free agents rumbling. Okay, I hear there's some unhappy news that Waddle also wants out of Miami, even though, that's
Mhm.
all speculation, excuse me. But yeah, there's guys available that are options if this is something that turns sour, okay? Let alone going to the draft. But there are potential options out there for less than what Pickens is worth. He's worth the
Right.
money, but it's just like, okay, well, we may not be in a position at this moment to kind of pay you. Is there something that we could do on a shorter scale and you come back to the table sooner, with
Mhm.
more guaranteed money up front? But yeah,
It's
that
all
but
in what he wants to it's all in what he
yeah,
wants to do, really,
yeah. Plus,
but
like,
I
no tax in Texas. Come on, man. Come on, man. No athlete tax in
what
Texas.
but what I love, Gil, is the position that the Cowboys are in right now. It's a lot of options. You okay, if this doesn't work, plan A, we got plan B, and plan B is not too much of a fall off. I'm talking
No.
about on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. You got draft picks. Once they rework this salary cap, they're gonna have money for the salary cap.
Hmm.
You got free agency. We already know that they need defensive line. We need some edges. There's some edges out there. You got
Uh,
Khalil Mack available. You got
uh,
Joy Bosa available. You
there's
got Bradley Chubb
linebacker
available.
out of Jacksonville available as well.
Who
Stud out of
Owe
Jacksonville.
who's that?
The stud out of Jacksonville. I think Dolan.
Owe? Is that the guy?
I think that's him. I got to double check. I forget his name.
Yeah,
I
but they
can't think of
got
it
you
at this
got quite
specific
a
moment.
few.
Demario out of New Orleans is available as well. So you get some veteran
Yeah,
guys
it's
in.
it's it's just it's starting to get real fruitful,
Mhm.
and a lot of players are leaving. And then I just heard word that Minka Fitzpatrick is trying to is
Right.
going to be available, but I think Pittsburgh still he might be going home to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you got that out there though, Gil. And so I
And you
feel
got let's not forget, right? So the
who's that?
the non-exclusive tag is the best part of this whole situation. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, you
definitely.
he can be upset and angry. Actually, I think that
I
actually
don't think
suits
he
both. That suits both, right? You get one more year with him for 28 million. Any team that wants to send him this ridiculous deal, because that's like, look, go get the most money you can get. Just know that
Mhm.
whatever they're gonna give, they're gonna send us 2 first-round picks, and
Yeah.
you can go get your bread, which I think
Come
is
on,
a
come on top the
win-win.
Papa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
but
look
see,
at it as a win-win.
but you know what? When Clarence Hill interviewed him during the All-Star game, it didn't really to me, he just wants to play, man. It didn't seem like he was,
He
gonna
was
be
tripping about the
upset if they
money.
tagged him and stuff like even though Clarence Hill had me Clarence Hill, he's one of them reporters, man, and shout out to the bro. He the good bros of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Man, shout out to him. Cause he put them on, man. He be frying them up, man. He he was like, hey, because they had Michael Parsons out there. Micah, Micah was looking salty. He was asking Micah some
Oh, he
crazy
said you get the
questions,
money that
but
Mike was left on the table. Yeah.
yeah, that was hilarious to me. But GP, I mean, he answered those questions like a professional, and to me, uh it didn't really seem like that he had a problem with the franchise tag. 'Cause that's been
Hey,
floating out there. Where if he get
hey,
tagged, he ain't gonna want to play.
hey,
What you
Terrence.
gonna do? You gonna have to play.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. You
Yeah.
on you? It's contract time. It's time for you to get your money. You got any bad
Mhm.
answers in any interview? No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't.
No.
Right?
Nah, man. You
So
gotta be a
yeah,
prof.
he gonna be Pickens ain't gonna say
You
nothing to
but
deter. He
but
not gonna
but
play with the Joneses neither because he saw
but
how they
but
did
Gil,
money.
that's what I said. Gil, you say that, but look at what Micah. He dude laying
Nah,
he laying
nah.
all over the table, eating wings and fries.
And
I mean, like, man, what that
and
was
you
just
saw what
man, come
happened,
on,
right?
man.
You
Yeah.
saw exactly what happened. It said like you
Yeah, that was
you
just
you ruined a
spoiled.
relationship that was like I talked to a couple of friends of mine. The relationship is more important than the money. Okay, even
Yeah.
I know some people don't understand that, right? It's like, look, Jerry Jones is worth more to have a direct line to him than it is to just be like you're going to get paid. Don't get me wrong. People are like, oh man, I do this for my family. It's like, hold on, champ. You got endorsement deals. I see your face everywhere. You got endorsement
Yeah.
deals because you're playing in Dallas. You got
It's a
no
little
state
bit
income
more to the
tax. Yeah, like,
It's a little bit more what it's not it's a little bit more that's not on paper,
right, right,
that you get, and that's what happens with these dudes, man.
yeah, and they look at it like, "Oh, he ain't pay me my money. I'm like, you know what it is? I deserve." And it's like, "You're right. You do deserve, but let it's more to it than just the immediate gratification that you're looking at, right? And if you force the
Mhm.
issue to where the focus is primarily about you, then they're going to remove you from the equation so they don't have to think about it anymore. They can return to the entire picture of the project. Because at the end of the day, the Jones family is looking to get this man another Super Bowl before he goes on to glory. And I think that's
Glory.
that's that's been the focus. And they're trying to go about it without completely destroying the cap like they used to back in the day. And it used to
Yeah.
be ugly and nasty and be strapped, and like we're stuck with this. And like I said, 2 years ago, if you had told me we were trading Micah Parsons and we was gonna have more, look at where we are because of the move that Jerry decided to take. Okay, we're
Mhm.
staring down 3 draft picks. Okay, uh, we got Pickens for nothing, and that's the crazy part. He played for free last year, and we're probably going to get 2 picks in advance of him if we're going to get one more year and potentially 2 picks if he decides to take the offer elsewhere from somebody else. This is this is this is chess, man. This is chess, not checkers, man. I love
But
what's
you know
going on
what?
with
I think that what happened to Micah, that'll never happen again. The way
no,
that
no,
was handled,
no.
I don't think that would happen. They wouldn't do business like that again. And Micah, not saying that Micah was wrong. I mean, it just he was wrong in a little the way he handled the business,
Oh yeah,
a
it
little
was
bit.
immature how he
It
did
could
that.
a little bit immature, and he regrets. I don't care what nobody say. He wants to come back to Dallas.
He does.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He regrets not being here, and you can see it all over his face in that interview with Clarence Hill.
Mm.
But it's just have to let this thing play out, Silver and Blue Nation, and see where this thing gonna go. But I'm excited. I'm excited about them getting key pieces in place, getting football minds in place. Now, what's about to unravel is the free agents they
Yeah,
bring in.
salary cap and free agents.
They tighten now Christian Parker, they touched a little bit on pot. They couldn't really get into
Yeah,
the
that's tampering.
personnel or
That's
bringing players
tampering.
from the Eagles because that's
Can't do it.
tampering. You can't talk about that. But
Mhm.
you got Reed Blankenship out there, and if they pull something off where they bring him in, if they bring him in, oh man, they're ahead of the curve, Gil.
Yeah, this is the part where I'm really excited to see what happens, to see what they go after first, because it'll give us an idea what they're gonna do in the draft. My
Mhm.
guess, like my legitimate guess, is that in free agency they go for a linebacker first. Okay.
Linebacker.
They go for a linebacker first and they get younger in the secondary, like, okay, we're really looking to get Caleb, like you're saying, or we may have a shot at moving up, or how Dallas does. That 20th pick becomes an offensive lineman,
Mhm.
pure eye fashion,
Yeah.
and we see how things go from there. But yeah, yeah. I mean, if I had to take a guess, the Caleb will probably be the name circled at the top of their list, and then they'll be looking at any of these linebackers, especially the more familiar you are with his system, the better. Coming in and running that 3-4 that you love so much. It actually takes a skilled group of linebackers to do that.
Oh yeah.
Overshown is amazing sideline to sideline at tackling, but we got to see what they put around him. And you know, rookie Donovan was nice on the edge, so we gonna see what they do, man. We gonna see how they play it.
Yeah, man. So it's all about the personnel. Um, and I like that. I like what you talking about bringing a veteran middle line back in, not
Mhm.
one of these old guys,
Unless it's
and
old
not
boy
these.
out of New
Hey
Orleans,
man,
he's
man,
incredible. But he's 37, but he had his best
yeah,
statistical year.
Man, man, don't bring no Sanborns and no Kenneth Murrays back in here. Good
No,
Lord
no,
have
no.
mercy.
I think all of
Lord
their
have mercy.
cards have been deactivated from mental
Hey,
facility.
man, they needed, man,
Yeah.
deactivated and, man, just, hey, go somewhere else, man. Go coach somewhere
I
because,
wish you well, boss. I wish you
hey,
well.
wish you well. But more, man, that was
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
uh, just a sore eye sore, man,
yeah. It
watching them.
wasn't a good look, man. And
But,
it's
hey,
crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead. I'm in.
Yeah, it's just watching the games. Of course, we don't get all of the angles, but I can see that a couple of guys knew the system, but just didn't have the physical traits to get there to get it done. I forget
Yeah.
what that white boy
Sanborn.
linebacker.
Sanborn
And
knew it,
oh my
but he
god,
just couldn't
like
get there.
I'm watching his helmet. I see him looking. He knows where it's going. He
Just
just
couldn't get
can't get
there.
there, and I'm like, that's okay, man. It just is. It's reminding me of like Remember the Titans. Like you're killing me, Peter. You're killing me. You're killing me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But look here. Look here, Silver and Blue Nation. It's been a pleasure hanging out with y'all today. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to
Yeah,
our
man. Get these
channel.
numbers up.
My name is Jeff Freeman. This is my
I'm
brother
Gil.
Gil Johnson. And this is the Big Sports Talk Podcast where we talking Cowboys football, what we know and love. Till the next time, we are out of here.